Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call this meeting of the Temecula City Council to order. Let's start with Susan. Let's all say hi to Susan, and thanks for the beautiful music. Susan Miyamoto. Thank you, Susan. As always, you're always a treasure when you're here in our chamber. Okay, we'll have an invocation tonight by Bridget, is it Kiao? Was I close? Would you come forward, please, for the invocation? If you'd please rise, and then we'll do the flag salute led tonight by Mayor Pro Tem Nagar.
"除了上帝，还有谁能解除困难呢？当如此说，赞美归于上帝，他是上帝，万人都是他的仆役，万人也当遵行他的吩咐。Is there any remover of difficulties save God? Say, praise be God, He is God, all thy His servants, all by His biddings."
Thank you.
Yeah.
If you face the flag with me, recognize the principles for which it stands, and in light of yesterday's holiday, those that gave their life for it, please say with me, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mike, and thank you, everybody. Okay, with that, Madam City Clerk, may we have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Edwards.
Here.
Councilmember McCracken.
Here.
Councilmember Nagar.
A good day for a council meeting.
Councilmember Ron.
Here.
Mayor Comachero.
Here. Okay, we'll move to public comments. I believe we have a couple. Let me read the rules. A total of 30 minutes is provided so members of the public may address the City Council on items that appear within the consent calendar or a matter not listed on the agenda. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. If the speaker chooses to address the City Council on an item listed on the consent calendar or a matter not listed on the agenda, the request to speak form must be filled out and filed with the City Clerk prior to the City Council addressing public comments on the consent calendar. Once the speaker is called to speak, please come forward and state your name for the record. For all public hearing or council business items that are on the agenda, the request to speak form may be filed with the City Clerk prior to the City Council addressing that item, and each speaker in that case is limited to 5 minutes. May we have the first speaker?
Mr. Mayor, the first speaker is Pam Nelson, to be followed by Christine Flores.
Ms. Nelson, good evening.
Good evening again. I'm Pam Nelson from the Sierra Club, the local group called the Santa Margarita Group of the San Gorgonio chapter. We'd like to thank your staff and council for the support you've given us for the Murrieta Creek Regional Trail Project. So the successful 4-city planning team consisting of city planners from Temecula, Murrieta, Wildomar, and Lake Elsinore, along with Sierra Club group volunteers and other trail volunteers. We were honored with a merit award at the last month's, it was an annual, California Trails and Greenway Conference in Yosemite. So that's what you see there. We especially want to recognize your planner, Matt Peters, for his enthusiasm and exemplary support throughout the last 2.5 years of the project. And as you know, the ribbon cutting event's on Saturday, June 6th. So hope to see you all there. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And just to be clear, in a case like that, thank yous go both ways. So we thank you for your and the Sierra Club's involvement. That's going to be a really, really nice community amenity. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Mr. Mayor, the next speaker is Christine Flores.
Ms. Flores, good evening.
Me. Good evening, council members. My name is Christine Flores, and I want to thank the council member Michael McCracken for inviting me to speak this evening. I also want to thank you all for your time and attention. I attend Reliance Church in Temecula, and we are starting a new ministry and local outreach called Teen MOPS. It is under the umbrella of MOPS, which is Mothers of Preschoolers. which is a nationwide organization that is purposed in equipping mothers for motherhood. What makes Teen MOPS a little different than traditional MOPS is the fact that our moms are between the ages of 13 to 21 years old, having a child or children under the age of 6. Teen MOPS provides a faith-based, encouraging, non-judgmental environment where teen moms can come together with other teen moms who are in similar life situation. Through these relationships, as well as growing relationships with mentors, these young moms, again, can gain confidence, self-worth, learn about mothering, and grow personally and spiritually while having some practical needs met. My personal desire and heart in having a hand in leading this ministry is the fact that I, too, was a teen mom at the age of 16. As a teen mom, we deal with a lot of rejection, seclusion, and inadequacy. Not every teen mom has the same story. I was supported by my parents. They were disappointed, I'm sure, and very heartbroken. But I was also supported by my husband, now husband of 18 years, and we have 4 children together. I was told in high school that I would just be a statistic. And without the support of those who loved me, I would be. But instead, I'm a different statistic. I graduated from high school, and although I chose not to go to college and instead chose to stay home and raise my children, I'm thankful that I've had the opportunity over the years to work with several different school districts, working in SDC classes and special needs classes, which is another part of my heart. I am just as grateful to continually have been involved in my community and my church. I'm not here to support pregnancy. I'm here to encourage these young moms in the fact that despite everything else, they are choosing life. And as a church, we tell the community, choose life. And yet, when they do, sadly, we leave those who have chosen this way unequipped and alone. My desire is that these young ladies be treated more than a statistic. I want them to have every opportunity to move forward and to grow and to make better choices and have positive changes in their lives. With that said, Teen MOPS will be held at Reliance Church in Temecula the first and third Monday night of every month from 6 to 8 p.m. starting in September. They will be provided with free childcare. We will serve them a free dinner. We will also give them opportunities to earn other necessities they may need, along with free diapers. You can register at reliancechurch.org, or you can email me at christine@reliancechurch.org for any questions. Thank you for your time. God bless you.
Thank you, Christine. You know, you can go ahead and sit down, but, you know, we have a series of organizations in this community that we're blessed to have, that we all hope that the need isn't there, and it's a shame that it is there, but boy, thank goodness there's somebody there to fill it. And so very much appreciate what you bring to the city. Mike?
Yeah, thank you for saying that. For years, this council has supported birth choice, and for all the reasons that you so articulately pointed out. And I really want to appreciate your courage and your taking the time to come down and voice that. That was very articulate.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, no other speakers? All right, then we will move on to city council reports. Reports by members of the city council on matters not on the agenda will be made at this time. A total not to exceed 10 minutes is devoted to these reports. And do we have anybody in the queue?
Yes.
You got to figure it out there, Mac.
I'm in there, sir.
All right, Mr. McCarthy, Councilmember McCracken.
First of all, thanks for coming out and giving us that information. I just want to say, you know, for the past month, I've been sitting as your council member. A lot of you had no choice in my being here, and I appreciate you supporting this effort. I am your council member, whether I ran for office. I take this job very seriously. One of my first events yesterday to speak was a Memorial Day event. I thought that was kind of fitting. Did a few years in the Navy, and I got a chance to speak to a lot of great people who lost their loved ones so that we can have rights and freedoms in this country. And I thought it was very fitting that, you know, myself, not being born and raised in Temecula, come as a commissioner, now a council member, because of those rights and freedoms they fought for, I have a chance to excel and to serve you as your council member. So I just want to say thank you for your support. For those who lost loved ones, we as a city, as a country, as a nation, you know, we salute you. You go through this every day. We celebrate once a year, but we understand what your trials are. I just want to say thank you, God bless you, and continue support.
Thank you, Mike. Well said. Okay, seeing no other comments in the queue, that will take us to the consent calendar. All matters listed under consent calendar are considered to be routine and will be enacted with one roll call vote. There will be no discussion of these items unless members of the City Council request specific items be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. Item number 1, waive reading of standard ordinances and resolutions. Item 2, approve the action minutes of May 12, 2015. Item 3, approve the list of demands. And item 4, authorize the mayor to send a letter of support of Pechanga Band of Luiseño Indians application to the U.S. Department of Interior, Bureau of Indian Affairs, to place specified real property into the federal trust status. I understand that we have Mr. McCracken and Mr. Ron, whose spouses have some kind of work arrangement. I'm not sure exactly what it is with Pechanga, and so you guys will be abstaining, correct?
Yes, sir. We'll be abstaining, yes.
Okay, we'll register
From
that.
item 4 only.
And, Mr. Mayor, I'll just point out that because it's not being pulled from the consent calendar, they don't have to leave the room.
Okay, so we'll entertain a motion then.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion.
Never mind, sir. We relay that. I'm
That's
not
okay.
involved in it.
No, you can second.
Oh, second except for
yeah.
number 4.
Yeah, it's for the whole thing. It's for 1 through 4, but
Thank
you'll be
you, sir.
abstaining on 4. Okay, so we have a motion and a second.
There we go.
It came up. It's working again.
I'll take the second.
Okay, please cast your votes. And so that motion passes then 5-0 on items 1 through 3, and on item 4, 3-0 and 2 abstentions, correct?
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right, moving on to Temecula Community Services District meeting and our president, Marianne Edwards.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to call this meeting of the Temecula Community Services District to order. Could we have the roll call, please?
Director Comachero,
Here?
Director McCracken,
Here.
Director Nagar.
Here.
Director Ron,
Here.
President Edwards.
Thank you. Do we have any public comments?
We do not.
We do not. All right, then we'll move on to the consent calendar. All matters listed under consent calendar are considered to be routine, and all will be enacted by one roll call vote. There will be no discussion of these items unless members of the Temecula Community Services District request specific items be removed from the consent calendar for separate action. Item number 5, approve the action minutes of May 12th. Item number 6, approve the annual agreement and amendments for services for various community services, department events, classes, programs, and activities for fiscal year 2015-16. Item number 7, approve the second amendment to the purchase and installation agreement with Pacific Clay Systems, Inc. for the Special Needs Playground, PW 12-02.
Madam President,
Sir?
can we get a brief staff report on item 6, only to clarify something that we had discussed earlier in the day?
Sure.
Where we're actually grouping a number of different approvals into that item, whereas normally we would approve them one by one. So, Mr. Hawkins, did you want to? Whoever best.
All right.
No, that's fine. Item 6, as you pointed out, is just simply a request for approval of annual agreements that exceed $30,000. In an effort to be more transparent and more efficient, we've kind of patterned this effort after Public Works and bundled a lot of our agreements. So it's simply doing that. Those items that don't exceed a certain threshold are approved by the city manager.
And that which we are approving tonight is listed in the staff report individually, correct?
That is correct. They are broken out and listed individually.
Okay, thank you.
You good? All right, that was item number 6, so I will accept a motion.
Move items 5, 6, and 7.
I'll second.
All right. Please cast your votes. And those items pass unanimously. Anything, Mr. Community Services?
Yes. Thank you, Madam President. I think I have a slide. Just a couple of comments regarding yesterday's event. You know, I received an email from Dick Fox. Everyone knows Dick Fox, museum specialist. Also, his brother and father have pavers in the path of honor at the Letters Home Memorial. And it reads as follows: Kevin, please pass along to all involved in making it happen. The Memorial Day observance was well done and appropriately dignified. My personal thanks and appreciation. So, per Dick's request, our thanks go out not just to city staff, but the military ad hoc subcommittee. It's the mayor and the former councilman and now Supervisor Washington who are part of that, and really the entire city council, and especially Councilmember McCracken for his comments yesterday, and the Community Services Commission for their support. And the direction, which really allowed us to finally strike a balance, the appropriate balance of paying tribute at the appropriate venue to our brave men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice for the freedoms we enjoy here. So our thanks. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Hawkins, and thank you for everyone that participated in that. I know it was well attended, and I also know it was very much appreciated. Anything else? General Manager? No? Council members? Directors? No? Michael, did you push your button?
Looking forward, ma'am. Didn't show up yet.
All right, go ahead. You're probably in the mayor's queue, but go ahead, Michael.
Yesterday's event, right? As I was making my speech and talking to the audience, I noticed a gentleman sitting in the audience with a hat on, Korean World War II, a Korean War veteran. And as I was making my speech, I was watching him, and I can see his eyes lighting up. So I didn't get his name, but something I said to him must have connected to him, because it seemed like he was all of a sudden kind of at ease and knowing that somebody understands. You know, we have some heroes in this city, and there are military, and there are also civilians who support the military. And for that one day, I felt like I was a part of something great to connect to that one person. He looked at me and he kind of smiled, and he was like, okay, somebody understands. So for a city to take the extra step to connect with something like that, it means a lot. It tells our residents we have a sincere connection and belief in military service, and at the same time, it's a good example for our youth to see that that has value to it. So a lot of good examples were given yesterday, so I thank you for letting me be a part of that. Appreciate that.
Well, thank you, and I hear you did a great job. So we need to continue that tradition of honoring our veterans and their families, because if we stop doing that, we don't want them to be forgotten. So that will continue. If there are no further comments, I would entertain an adjournment.
So moved.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
And Community Services stands adjourned.
Thank you. We have no meetings scheduled under the three other situations that this body sits as board. That's the successor agency to the Temecula Redevelopment Agency, Temecula Housing Authority, and the Temecula Public Financing Authority. So we have no meetings to take care of tonight on those boards. We will reconvene the Temecula City Council meeting. We have one additional item on the agenda, item 8, appoint board members to the Old Town Local Review Board. And may we have a staff report, please?
Mr. Mayor, I'll go ahead and give a brief staff report.
Doesn't have to be that brief.
We had an opening on the Old Town Local Review Board for 3 members. The subcommittee of the City Council on this particular board met and recommended that the 2 incumbents, Albert Blair and Craig Puma, be reappointed, and that Lori Malmstrom be also appointed.
Very good. Any discussion?
Nope.
Yeah.
Chair will entertain a motion.
Oh, just wanted to mention, had the opportunity on the subcommittee to review and really scrutinize a lot of the applications. And much like we struggled with the appointment with the city council seat, we have a tremendous talent here in our city, and they certainly rise to the top. And it's wonderful to have Mr. McCracken joining us. It's also wonderful that we have our 2 commissioners, Mr. Blair and Mr. Puma, joining us again and willing to serve for another 3 years. And I think that the remaining applicants for the open seat were outstanding, and certainly would encourage them to continue seeking to support the city and other commissions or opportunities, but wanted to congratulate Ms. Malmstrom for her new appointment to the, or hopefully, if we all approve this, of course, appointment to the commission. Look forward to working with all of them.
Thank you, Matt.
Move staff recommendation, or move subcommittee recommendation.
Second.
We have a motion and a second before we vote. I just, as the other member of the subcommittee, I think it's great that we get so many applicants for these
Yes.
positions, and we always tell people and encourage people to apply and reapply if you're not appointed, and the tragedy of all that is we get so many applications that we have to say no to a lot of them, and hopefully they'll come back next time and apply again. So nobody get discouraged. I love the example of Mr. Nagar to my right, who loves to tell the story about how he applied 12 times to the Planning Commission. But you know what? He got appointed and ultimately wound up here for the last 15 or 16 years or whatever it's been. So, don't give up hope and keep applying, keep being a part of the city. So let's cast our votes. That motion carries unanimously 5-0, so congratulations to the 2 returning members and the new member of the Old Town Local Review Board. Let's see, do we have a city manager's report tonight?
Yes, I'll be very, very brief as well. Tomorrow morning, we will be hosting our annual budget workshop at 8:30 a.m. here in the conference center. And this is our opportunity to, in a public meeting, we want to invite everyone out, if they want to hear about the annual operating budget, the capital improvement program, and the community services budget. And it is our desire and our plan, based on the city council direction tomorrow morning, that we'll be back to the city council in a regularly scheduled meeting on June 9th for adoption of our fiscal year 15-16 operating budget. So with that.
Great, thank you, Aaron. Mr. City Attorney. Move forward.
Mr. Mayor and members of the council, we did have a closed session tonight, but there are no actions to report under the Brown Act.
Thank you, Peter. Just one quick thing before we leave. We do have on Thursday morning the annual State of the City presentation at Pechanga Resort in the ballroom, and if you'd like to attend and don't have a ticket, you can contact the Chamber of Commerce. It's their event, and they'll be happy to make sure that you can attend. So we always have a good time with that, and this year will be no different.
You
So
flying in a helicopter?
I'm not flying in on a helicopter, but I do have a few little odd things planned here and there.
All
But it will be I can assure you it will be a very positive report on the state of our city. So with that, entertain a motion to adjourn.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, if I
sure.
may, City of Menifee lost one of its original council members, Mr. Wallace Edgerton. He died this afternoon. I think it would be appropriate if we adjourned our council meeting in his honor and also to recognize and respect the City of Menifee and their loss. That's my motion.
Second.
Thank you for that, Mike. We have a motion and a second. Is there any objection?
Nope.
We stand adjourned
Thank you, sir.
at 7:23.